Hi, I'm Carla Butorac and welcome to Behavior Communicates. What do you imagine would happen if you applied a language development strategy used with deaf students to a child with normal hearing and no cognitive disabilities? I can tell you what happened because I did it. Many of you know that I'm a speech-language pathologist, but you may not know that before I had children, I worked at the Phoenix Day School for the Deaf. When I had my first daughter, Ashlyn, I asked myself that question: what would happen if I paired language with concrete objects and actions and literally bombard her? Well, what happened was an explosion of language far earlier than all of the developmental language charts. I documented everything until I couldn't keep up with the vast number of vocabulary words she knew. Today I'm going to share with you my story of the mind-blowing results and tell you exactly how I did it. The purpose here is to demonstrate that if this strategy of language bombardment has an incredible effect on a child without disabilities, it will make an impact on our children with disabilities too. Just as Anne Sullivan paired actual water with the sign for water for Helen Keller to help her understand the connection, I too paired concrete things with language for my students at the deaf school. When Ashlyn was born, I didn't just talk to her like a parent normally would. I talked all the time about things like, what was I doing? What did I have in my hand? What was Ashlyn looking at? And what other people were doing or animals were doing? Let me give you a couple of examples. For example, when it was bath time, I would say things like, now it's bath time, let's get the water turned on. I'm turning on the cold water. Now I'm turning on the warm water. Oh, that feels nice and warm. I'm putting in some bubbles in the water. Now I'm swishing the water around. You could touch the water, or oh look, you popped a bubble. I literally verbalized every action, talked about every object involved in the experience. Another example was when the mailman showed up. If we happened to see him, I'd say, oh look, there's the mailman. He's driving a mail truck. Here he comes. Oh, we stopped at the mailbox. He's opening up the mailbox door. He's putting the mail in the mailbox. He's all done. Now he's closing the door. He's going to the next mailbox. Look, he's stopped, etc. When we would go for a walk, I'd push the stroller and stop at each mailbox on our street, and I said, look, there's a mailbox. That's where the mailman puts the mail. Ad nauseum, right? Well, I was committed to this experiment because I wanted to see just how much of an impact it would have. When Ashlyn was about 4 months old, I started asking some simple questions like, where's Brandy? That was our dog. Ashlyn would look at the dog, and then I would reinforce her eye pointing by saying, there she is, that's Brandy. I did this with objects too, like I would say, where's the telephone, where's your high chair, etc. When she looked at the objects, that of course told me she understood my words. So what were the results? At 5 months, Ashlyn said mama. At 6 months, she said dada, and at 9 months, she had a 10-word vocabulary. I continued the bombardment, and at 13 months, she had over 400 words. At 15 months, Ashlyn and I went out to lunch one day, and we were seated near a couple of older women. Ashlyn was in a high chair, and she leaned towards these women and said, hi, girls. The ladies looked at me in shock, and one of them said, did she just say, hi, girls? I had to laugh and say yes. Ashlyn didn't know the word ladies yet. By 18 months, she was speaking in 6- and 7-word sentences. I specifically remember one day when a friend of mine and her toddler, who was 6 weeks older than Ashlyn, were coming over for a play date. And I had bought Ashlyn a helium balloon and told her not to go outside without letting me tie it to her wrist. I told her that if she did, the balloon would fly away. Well, true to form, right after my friend and her son arrived, Ashlyn took the balloon outside, and when I wasn't looking, she let it go. She came running back in the house and said, and I quote, Ashlyn balloon flew away outside, oh darn. I wish you could have seen the look on my friend's face. She said, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with Matthew. All he does is point and grunt. I had to tell her that there was nothing wrong with him, and then explained that I had been doing this experiment with Ashlyn for several months. I wanted to share this story because I want to encourage parents, therapists, and school staff to engage in this language bombardment at home and at school with your children with special needs. Our kids with language delays need the pairing of concrete objects and actions with the corresponding language more than we realize. I encourage you, your parents and therapists, and other staff to take their interactions up a notch with children. I would love to know what happens about a year from now. Keep me posted. Thank you so much for joining me here at Behavior Communicates. Just remember, the more we know about how to help the child or the students we love, the better quality of life they will have. If you like this video and you want to be in the know, sign up for Behavior Communicates. You'll automatically get my weekly video and blog plus other resources that I only share with my subscribers. Please share this video with your parents, teachers, coworkers, and friends on Facebook, Twitter, and all your other social media. You take care, and I'll see you next time.